Hey guys, what's up? It's Omar from Buy Me an iPhone and
Ryan.
So guys, we've been talking about maybe doing like kind of like a show type of thing where we both sit down and talk a little bit about tech. And so I happened to be in town visiting Ryan, so we decided we were watching a little Dig Nation today, and we thought, that'd be kind of cool. We talked about it a long time ago, we've never actually done it, so we figured let's sit down and talk some tech and put up a video on YouTube so you guys can hear our thoughts on different things. So this is something we're starting out, this brand new. We'll see how this kind of goes, how this takes off. We don't even know what we're going to call the show, so if you want to give some ideas on what we should call the show, put them in the comments below. But definitely something we could do with the other guys from Buy Me an iPhone, Tom and Doug and Mark and all the other guys, so we can chat with them as well, talk about different topics. Probably have special guests on the show and interviews and things like that as well. So just something to kind of branch out and give you a little bit different type of content. So
this will be a monthly show, just like we were doing before on Stickcam. Stickcam for you guys was a live show that we did. We try to do it every 2 weeks. That we did in the past. It may or may not come back. This might be the new format that we will give to you guys to discuss, as Omar was talking about tech. So we will have that in the future in some later shows, just to give you that information, guys. But this will be the new format for right now. So hopefully you guys will enjoy what we have to discuss. Obviously, this will be a little bit different than the following shows because Omar is in town. But it'll still provide the same great information for you guys. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to discuss, guys, obviously this past week, Friday, I guess the 11th, this new device came out. It is the iPad 2. I got the white 16 gigabyte Wi-Fi version. Obviously, it was a highly anticipated and a fantastic sell, I guess, for Apple.
Oh, definitely. They've been selling out all over the place.
Yeah, I stayed in line myself. It's so hard to say, but I got in line at about 9 o'clock, got my iPad at about 5:15, got out the door, so I was super, super excited to get this fantastic device, magical device.
Magical, yes.
As Steve said.
That's the buzzword, magical. I was not able to get mine. I was going to go to Best Buy to pick mine up. I was on my way here, actually, the day of the launch, and so I got here kind of late, so it was too late, and the next day, of course, as you guys have probably been hearing, they've all been sold out. So I think a couple of the Apple stores are still carrying a few. Some people have been reporting that they've been the ones that they ordered online have been coming to them a little bit quicker than expected. But Best Buys and the other retailers, I think they're probably out for a while now. So sadly, I don't have my iPad 2, so I've been using Ryan's and all. But
so with the sale of the new iPad, obviously Omar wasn't able to get one. Best Buy actually just came out with a pretty interesting little concept. You can actually reserve yourself an iPad. Unfortunately, they're not going to tell you when your iPad will come in, but they will guarantee that you will get one. How do you do it? You actually have to go into the store. You can't do it over the phone. You have to go in, and you need to purchase a $100 gift card and actually apply that to the sale of an iPad 2. Omar didn't want to try that right now just because he didn't know when it was going to come in.
Yeah.
Putting down $100 and then not getting your iPad before he leaves on Saturday would kind of be foolish. But if there's some of you guys out there who actually did that, let us know how it worked out for you. It'd be really cool to know how it turned out.
So Ryan, you've been using the iPad 2. I've been playing with it a little bit as well. So what are your initial thoughts on how it's been going with the new iPad?
From 4.2.1 on my iPhone to 4.3, I think it's really, really interesting. I think if you have multi-touch gesturing, which we'll talk about later, on your iPad 2, it's fantastic. It really makes me not want to use my home button on my iPad. How that would translate to 4.3 on the iPhone with multi-touch gesturing, I really don't know. But I love it. I definitely think the new features, not just about 4.3, but the new applications, photo booth, camera, and FaceTime on the iPad 2 is a great addition. I think Apple did a fantastic job. Even though they didn't really do much to the iPad besides make it thinner and lighter and obviously add some cameras, it's still, I think if you guys haven't purchased an iPad yet, this is probably the one to get.
Definitely. Now, we were playing with the camera a little bit, testing out the FaceTime with Doug and messing around with that and taking pictures and such. And so my initial thoughts, and I'm sure you probably concur with me on this, is the cameras are not that great.
No, they're actually
not as good as we thought they were going to be. They almost seem, when we were joking about this, it almost seems like they took the cameras from the iPod Touch, stuck them on the iPad, and didn't do anything about the resolution or anything, because the pictures are a little bit blurry.
It's pretty pixelated. Maybe we'll probably throw up an image there for you guys right now. But it's pretty pixelated. Obviously, you have a lot larger screen, as Omar mentioned, with the iPad 2 compared to the iPod Touch. The images are really pixelated, even with FaceTime calling with Doug. It was really, really bad. However, as you will see in a bunch of videos that are on YouTube right now, the rear resolution for shooting HD video isn't actually that bad.
No.
So, the application or the cameras, personally, for still shots are horrendous. I think if you think you're going to go out and buy an iPad 2 to take still shots, I highly suggest you just go ahead and drop your $500, $600 on a DSLR. Go ahead and do that if you're trying to take photos with it. But being able to FaceTime and having the HD video on it, it's definitely a plus over the iPad 1, no question.
I think the camera, the shots we take with our iPhone 4s are way better than the pictures being taken with the back of the iPad 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
if you have an iPhone 4 and an iPad, what would you use to take a photo? Exactly, I'm going to use my iPhone 4. So, the multi-touch gesturing, though, guys, as we mentioned earlier.
And explain to them what that is, because some people may not be knowing about it.
It's multi-touch gesturing was mentioned by Apple. When 4.3 was introduced a few months ago.
Yeah.
It was enabled you to swipe through applications instead of using the multitasking bar. You're able to swipe through applications with 4 fingers. With pinching with 5, you're actually able to close applications. You can bring up the multitasking bar with 4 fingers swiping up. You can bring it down with 4 fingers swiping down. It's really, really cool. There's tons of information or instructional videos on how to do that on YouTube. Hopefully we'll have ours up very shortly. That way you guys can take a look at it. But if you have an iPad 2, I highly suggest you do this. You follow our guide on how to get it installed, because it makes your experience so much better.
And it does not require jailbreaking.
No jailbraking at all. So
there's not even a jailbreak available right now for that. But just so that's probably a lot of you guys are probably some of those that are nervous about jailbreaking, about voiding your warranty and all that kind of stuff. This is not something that you'll be able to get these functionality without having a jailbreaker.
Yeah, it's really easy, guys. There's 2 different ways you can do it. One way will cost you $5. One way is free. Which version do you think I took? So, yeah, but it's really, really good. But now that this new device has come out, the iPad 2, what would we want to see in the iPad 3?
That's a good question. We were discussing this earlier, and I'd like to see better cameras for one. I mean, like I said, I'm not going to go around shooting video and taking a lot of pictures with my iPad, but if I wanted to, I want it to be better quality pictures and images. The other thing I think would be good too is it already has an awesome display, but like having the Retina display for the iPad too, for HD videos and that kind of thing like that, I think that'd be a good step up. But there's not so many other things I could think they could do besides maybe capacity, faster processor, that kind of stuff. Maybe they'll bump it up to 64 and 32 gigs. But I don't know.
I understand about the Retina display. However, it's going to tax the processor quite a bit to run a Retina display. No questions asked. The other thing is that right now the iPad 2 only has 512 megabytes of RAM. All the other tablets that are out there, the Android tablets, the Zoom, the Galaxy Tab, even the WebOS tabs are supposed to have a gigabyte of RAM. Adding a gig of RAM to this, bumping the processor up to like 1.5, maybe even 2 gigs of a dual core processor, I think would make this fantastic. Like Omar mentioned, you really can't change this design too much. From the next version.
Yeah.
You
can't make it much thinner.
You can't go thinner than this. You've you exhausted your design, but obviously we know it's Apple, so they're going to come up with something different.
Yeah,
so,
maybe the backs won't be maybe they'll come up with a glass back or something.
I don't know, but
that'd be a huge piece of glass to break if you were to but it's possible. I really don't know what else they could really do with it. But,
but it's a great device, I think, guys. If you haven't purchased an iPad right now, this is definitely a great time to buy one. Even if you don't buy an iPad 2, you can buy a first generation iPad for $399, even $349 on Apple's refurbished section.
Yeah. And if you go to Craigslist and those other sites as well, you'll probably be able to find a little bit cheaper than that.
Yeah,
for a used one.
So it's a fantastic time.
If it's a price that's really holding you back, then definitely just get the first generation. Use that one for a while until you get used to it. If you really want the cameras and a little bit faster processor for iMovie, those type of applications, well, then you might want the iPad 2. But otherwise, I don't know. I think those of you with iPad 1, if you're pretty satisfied with it, then I don't know, just stick with that, I guess.
I think so.
So what are the other things we're going to talk about? The last thing.
The iPhone 5. iPhone 5. That has been
rumors and things
flying around.
Everyone's talking about it. Some of the things that I'm just going to pull up right now for Mac rumors. They're talking about the purported iPhone 5 cases suggest nearly identical form factor to the iPhone 4. And this doesn't really surprise me too much. I think with the iPhone 5, they're going to pull another like 3G, 3GS type of deal where it's the same body, a couple different things going on the inside, but not a really huge jump. I don't see them coming out with a 4G iPhone. in June, only because AT&T. I don't see them coming out with Verizon just yet because they just came out with the other phone. And that would just seem odd to me. And AT&T's their 4G network isn't quite fully developed yet, and I don't see them jumping on that before they feel it's going to be a really good experience for everybody. I kind of see that maybe since the Verizon iPhone was released, February?
Yeah.
I could see them releasing the 4G iPhone in next February for Verizon. Since the Verizon's network's been over, they've already been using it for a while. They've been testing the waters on 4G.
It's Apple. And I don't think Apple would do that, release a device and then wait a whole another year to release the same device again on another network. I just don't think they would do that. Personally, I don't know if I'm liking the larger screen on the iPhone 5 for reasoning.
Some of the other things people are talking about.
For me, I'm thinking you've already got a screen size on the iPad, you've got a screen size on the iPhone 4, and a screen size on the iPod Touch. Why would you want to add an additional screen size to it, and add another device onto your already pretty popular, iOS device base? That's just going to be what I'm thinking, fragmentation, just like we're seeing in the Android market. All these different size devices, developers are having to write so many different versions of their programs to run on their specific device. So I don't know if I like that there's a larger screen. I do like that it's a larger screen, but I don't know if Apple would do that.
I don't see the advantage of really having to go through all the trouble just for a couple millimeters of screen size.
That's exactly. Obviously, the Evo. There's a couple other Android devices which have larger screens. Yeah. I love the Evo. The look. I haven't had the chance to play around with Android, but the actual screen size itself is fantastic. If the iPhone had a larger screen, that'd be good. But I just don't see them actually doing that. And like you mentioned, the same thing they did with the iPhone 3GS and 3G, keeping the same body size. It might seem like that might be what Apple does this go around, just to keep that. And, you never know. If it is the same body size, then maybe we actually might see being able to use the same cases for the phone itself.
Exactly. Which, being a reviewer is not really great news because it means there's not going to be any new cases to review. But manufacturers are going to let it because then we'll have to come up with any new products really so much. But the other thing that we had mentioned too was that, the white iPhone. So if they don't have, let's say, a new body style, maybe the new thing will be the white iPhone will finally make its appearance. Who knows if that's really going to be the case. I have a white iPhone that I had changed over to the white iPhone, and I did notice that the images on the pictures is a little weird. And I'm hoping hopefully they would have that perfected if Apple ever releases. Of course they would, because that's probably one of the reasons why they haven't released it yet. But I don't know. Besides that, I think they probably would keep the same body style.
I think so. I think it would be good. The white iPhone that a lot of people have seen on YouTube, being done, even Omar's, I think that was suffering from that whiteout look or washout look because it didn't have that diffuser on it, and that was something that only came from that factory. I think they had some type of diffuser on the back of the case, a little ring around the flash, to diffuse the flash so it wasn't messing up photos. I think that if they do make a new version, it has to come out for both Verizon and AT&T. It has
really
to.
think so?
I think so. I just think it has to. I think if Apple wants to continue the same thing that they've done for the iPad, we know comes out in the the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
It happened last year. It happened this year. So it's going to happen next year. The iPhone comes out in June. The iPod Touches get updated in September. I think they're going to continue doing that same type of play or offering of that device at that same time. I think it would be a big bust for Verizon users to have it broken up. I think they wouldn't want it to work. But
I don't know.
I think I saw on 9 to 5 Mac rumors that there's only 12% of all iPhone users
12 or 18.
Or 12 or 18 on Verizon.
Which is kind of odd.
You would think there would be this mass exodus over to Verizon from AT&T once it was made available.
But keep in mind that it's 12%. So that 12% is probably a couple thousand. That's probably still a lot of people, but considering the market, 88%. That's because everyone that really wanted the iPhone, they really switched. They really went over to AT&T. Like the hardcore Apple iPhone fanboys and people that really wanted the iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
This is like 3 years ago. They really jumped ship and they've already gone over to AT&T. So the people that are left over are probably just people that are already on Verizon. I'll give the iPhone a shot. Let's try it out. But back to what you were saying before about the launch of the next iPhone. I don't know. I think that it would be kind of odd that they would release one phone for Verizon in February and then a couple months later release another phone on Verizon's network that's a new phone.
I don't think they'll do a LTE phone this year. I just don't.
Yeah,
Verizon's network isn't available, ready for it.
Yeah,
I don't think I don't think Apple would do that. The same we saw. Apple didn't jump on the USB 3.0 bandwagon. They haven't jumped on the Blu-ray bandwagon,
or even 3G. The first iPhone wasn't even 3G, which is
Apple,
odd because
Apple
3G been around for a while.
They're known not to jump on something when it first comes out.
Yeah.
So personally, I think they're not going to be coming out with the LTE version of that iPhone 4 or the iPhone 5, whatever it be.
If anything, it'll be next year, whenever it's fully developed, and they can make sure that the device works with. Because even people that have 4G now, it's still really spotty. In some places, they don't even really get 4G. And it's just it's kind of a tease. So we'll have to see how that goes. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for the show. Those are all the topics that we were going to discuss today. Let us know what you thought about it. Did we suck? Were we good? Was this bad? Whatever. Post a comment below and tell us what you think. We have, how many seconds we got left on the show? 47 seconds.
46
really
seconds. We did a fantastic job on
we
time.
we covered all the stuff.
Yeah.
So, guys, let us know what you think. Whatever. Tell us if you want us to talk about something different besides iPhone and iPad stuff. We'll talk about whatever it is, as long as it's technology-based.
I think if you guys also, if there's any type of applications that you guys want reviewed for the website that you want to discuss, I definitely think we might actually, start talking about, apps of the week, games that we enjoy, whether that be for the iPad, Mac with the Mac App Store, where we're wanting to make sure that this show is something that everybody wants to take a look at and to take part in. So hopefully you guys will, as Omar mentioned, post some comments. Tell us if we sucked. I won't pay attention to it, but tell us if we sucked, and
I'll pay attention.
and we'll go from there. But I guess that's our cue, guys. So hopefully we'll get a new name for you when the show comes up next month.
Yep.
Later.
See you guys.
17 minutes. I don't even know how it gets started. Oh, I should probably put my phone down, my knee down.
Yeah.